Let's talk about stretching. If you want to increase your flexibility, these are the 5 mistakes you don't want to make when it comes to flexibility training. First mistake, you don't want to let the distractions come in. I know that nowadays the distractions are everywhere. Notifications, banners, scrolling through the phone, so it's almost impossible to leave them out, but try as much as you can to focus on what you're doing. In stretching, it is really important that you stay focused on what you do, on the poses you do and stuff. A lot of people just tell me, I do want to stretch when I'm in front of the TV, maybe I'm watching a film or something like that. Of course, for some exercises it might work like that, but you don't go to the gym and watch a film, am I right? You don't, I don't know, you don't play volleyball and you watch the TV, like it's impossible, right? So in stretching is kind of the same. You gotta think about stretching much like a discipline, not something that you do want to do as you watch the TV. Of course you can do that, and if you're doing that, you can still do that, but try to focus also on what you feel, because the distractions usually bring you away from what you feel. Instead, what you do want to do is to really focus on what you feel in order to increase your flexibility. Second mistake you are probably making, you're just staying in static passive stretches. So these are the most common stretches where you basically just stay there, all right, just waiting for something to happen and just letting the gravity do its job, which is pushing or pulling you into a deeper stretch. Now, of course, there's a valid enough methodology you can use, but there are plenty of others. You can use the PNF, you can use weighted stretching, you can use dynamic stretches. So as you can see, there are many different stretches you can use. You can grab a weight, you can pull yourself deeper into a stretch, you can apply PNF contractions, you can move dynamically through the stretches. All these things change the way you gain flexibility. It's like going to the gym and just sitting off one fucking machine. It's impossible. Or just selecting just one exercise out of 100. So you got so many exercises, you got so many strategies you can use, all right? In stretching is the same. You got different methodologies, you got different strategies you can use. So don't stick just to one. Of course, that may work, but work also with other methodologies. Use weights. Use PNF contractions, use dynamic stretches to increase your flexibility, all right? Just don't stick to just one. Third mistake you are making, you're not thinking about stretching as a part of your life, but rather as something that you must do. So why do you go to the gym? Why do you practice your discipline, whatever discipline you may be practicing? Because you enjoy it, because it makes you feel good, because it improves your health, right? Now, stretching is the same. You must think about stretching as something that improves your health and it makes you feel better, all right? Maybe try to spend 5 minutes before your workout doing the dynamic stretches, 5 to 10 minutes after your workouts doing passive, static, PNF, loaded stretches and stuff. And also during your workouts, kind of whatever movement you do in your life requires some degree of range of motion, all right? Some less than others, but everything you do in life requires flexibility. Now, when you train, for example, at the gym or wherever, you use movements, right? Squats and stuff. But there are movements like squats, like pullovers, like dumbbell bench presses, or there are plenty of them that use wide range of motion exercises, all right? So you use a wide range of motion and you feel that because the movement is wide, all right? You're using the entire joint flexibility to perform that exercise, all right? So you do want to do these exercises here, all right? So focus on these exercises and make the stretching component of your routine a beautiful part of your life. Something that you do want to do, something that you enjoy, something that makes you feel better, and something that you know is good for your health, all right? So start thinking about stretching as something part of your life. Fourth mistake you may be doing, and this is really common, you are stretching too hard. All right, it's like going to the gym, trying to lift 150 kilos, 300 pounds at the bench press. For the majority of us, that is impossible. But if we decrease the weight, we can do that. Now, the same is true for stretching. All right, so when you practice your flexibility poses, you don't want to think about these flexibility poses as something impossible. Of course, they're impossible in that moment, but with the right preparation, you can do that. So think about these poses as something that you do want to work on with time. And when you stretch, you gotta have a kind of a scale in your mind that goes from 1 to 10. In a stretching position, you do want to feel the stretch from 6 to 8 or 9. Now, below 6, that kind of stimulus is too mild. I mean, it's too easy for your body to do that kind of stuff. So your body doesn't have a reason to adapt to that stimulus because it's too easy. In kind of the same way, if you feel a position that on that scale equals to 9 or 10, that means that that position is too hard. Your body can't adapt to that position. Remember the 150 kilos, 300 pounds example, that's exactly like it. You can't improve your strength if you try to lift a weight that you can't lift. You know what I mean? So in the same way, you can't improve a flexibility position that you can't practice because it's too intense for you, all right? So when you stretch, remember between 6 and 8 or 9 is the best spot, all right? So don't make your stretching positions too intense. Stretch there. I mean, it's not like only relaxing, all right? It's the sensation you feel. And remember the first tip I gave you, you want to connect. You want to think about what you're feeling during a stretching position. And here it's all about that. You do want to understand and you do want to feel a stretching position. If it falls between 6 and 8 or 9, that's good. Fifth and last mistake you may be making, you're thinking about the shorter term only. So you're thinking like, okay, I do want to do this in 1 month or 3 months or 5 months. Doesn't work like this, all right? So when you start a journey, when you start a discipline, when you start something, you don't think like, okay, in 5 months I wanna be out and I'm not gonna be doing that forever, all right? It's not like that. It's more like, okay, I want to do this because I enjoy this and I want to continue to do this, all right? So here's the same. You want to think about stretching as something that you can do for years or for months and stuff because you enjoy it. I mean, it's part of you. It's part of your practice. The moment you feel that stretching, flexibility, that kind of thing is part of your practice. It's part of your movement practice because you're moving, because you are, lifting, pushing, jumping, moving your shoulders, moving your hips, it's all about movement. And movement is also about flexibility, all right? So if you want to move, you need flexibility, right? So think about flexibility as something that you do want to continue doing. And in that moment, you realize, okay, I don't care how much it takes. I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna get that because I want it, all right? But start thinking about something like, I want to stretch only if I reach this. Of course, goals are important. You should have them, all right? You should have them. Whatever thing you do want to reach, splits, flexibility poses, movements, squats, something like that. There are plenty of them, and it's beautiful because movement is everything, all right? But the moment you realize movement is flexibility, is also about flexibility, start thinking like, okay, I want to do this forever. So you shouldn't think about this as something short term, but rather as something long term. All right, guys, so these are the 5 mistakes you don't want to make when it comes to stretching. Let me know in the comments down below if you enjoyed the video, if you have any questions, and also what you do want to talk about in the next videos. I'm the flexibility guy, Coach Elia. Thank you so much for being here and see you in the next one. Bye. Hey, if you want to improve your legs, hips, lower body flexibility in general, and you also want to master the splits, in this book you can find all the exercises you need. This is called Split Stacking, and you can find it on Amazon right now.